put Trump in office? Was it everyday Americans? Let's go to the book of Proverbs.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
The king is the ruler of the country, the president. God put Trump in power, and he did that for a reason. Even the most powerful leaders are under God's control. Can you read that again?
The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
God controls everything.
As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
He directs the actions of the king to do according to his plan. Let's go to Romans chapter 13 and verse 1.
Paul's epistle to the Romans, chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God.
The president is an instrument of God. God wants us to submit to his authority. So as long as we're not breaking God's laws in the process, we have to honor this. Read on.
Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Come on.
For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same.
Read on.
For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
Brothers and sisters, stay focused on this truth. Don't worry about Trump.
Nope.
Focus on God's commandments. Do what you're supposed to do and let God handle the rest. I want us to focus on that because when you read Romans, it says, for rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. God, he uses the president as an instrument to operate according to his plan. We as God's servants, we must stay focused on the bigger picture, which is this. Regardless of who is president, we got to stay focused on this. But there's a reason why God has Trump in office. Let's talk about what to expect the next 4 years. First, I want us to start with an article about Trump and tariffs. Have you all heard about what Trump has said he's going to do regarding tariffs to other nations? Read this.
Trump could do incredible damage to Mexico and Canada with a single signature.
Trump, his policy is get down or lay down. Trump, he's moving gangster over the next 4 years. He's already kicked the door in from day one. Trump can do significant damage to Mexico and Canada, all with a single signature. Read on.
President Donald Trump, with a stroke of a pen, could plunge America's closest neighbors into recession. Trump, on his first day in office, suggested he may do just that.
He said, I'm going to send these nations into recession. If they don't pay up, I'm going to send them into a recession. Read.
Trump has threatened to impose 25% tariffs on all goods from Canada and Mexico on February 1st in response to what he views as inadequate border security, failing to stop drugs and migrants from coming into the United States.
So Trump is saying Mexico and Canada that border the United States are not doing a good job at stopping illegal immigrants from coming into the United States. And as a punishment, he wants to impose 25% tariffs on these countries. He wants to make them pay for those who are coming into the country illegally. As Trump has said, a lot of criminal activity is happening because of immigration, and he wants to make the nations pay. Read.
Spiking tariffs on Canada and Mexico would risk starting a full-blown trade war. inside the deeply interconnected North American economy, where delicate supply chains have built close ties over the past several decades.
I want y'all to notice that. Spiking tariffs on Canada and Mexico would risk starting a full-blown trade war. We have to see, brothers and sisters, we're on the brink of World War III. We're on the verge of this thing, Elder Yakin.
Absolutely.
And it's not just coming through military might.
Nope.
There's an economic war on the horizon. Now, I want us to see how far the rabbit hole goes, because y'all might think, oh, he's only doing that to Canada and Mexico. Next slide. Trump threatens Russia. Now, y'all know that Putin don't play, but despite all of that, Trump has told Russia that if they don't get their act together according to his will, they're going to have to pay. Let's read his tweet. Let's start first with that first image on the left.
Trump threatens Russia. Donald Trump tells Putin to end Ukraine war now. We can do it the easy way or the hard way.
I want y'all to know these next 4 years, ooh-wee, it's going to be something. The Bible talks about this. Read.
Donald Trump says, I'm not looking to hurt Russia. I love the Russian people and always had a very good relationship with President Putin. And this despite the radical left Russia hoax. We must never forget that Russia helped us win the Second World War, losing almost 60 million lives in the process. All of that being said, I'm going to do Russia, whose economy is failing, and President Putin a very big favor. Settle now and stop this ridiculous war. It's only going to get worse.
So Trump's letting Putin know, and Putin is gangster. See, a lot of times when y'all Israelites say gangster, you talk about Negroes on the street.
Right.
Those that don't own nothing, that are killing each other over street corners that they don't even own. The true gangsters are a part of the government because they enforce policies to force the people to get under their regime. Putin, who's largely been known as being very authoritative, Trump said, "In this war with Ukraine now or else." Read.
If we don't make a deal, and soon, I have no other choice but to put high levels of taxes, tariffs, and sanctions on anything being sold by Russia to the United States.
Trump said, if you don't do what I say do, I'm taxing that behind. Read.
And various other participating countries.
And other countries can get it too. I'm telling you, these guys, they're competing for world dominance. Read.
Let's get this war, which never would have started if I were president, over with. We can do it the easy way or the hard way. And the easy way is always better.
Because you know Trump, the art of the deal. A businessman at heart. We could do this the easy way or we could do it the hard way. Let's make a deal. Trump acting like he's on The Apprentice, but he's going to turn up. Go ahead.
It's time to make a deal. No more lives should be lost.
So I just want y'all to see the climate that we're in. Trump is not saying that to Kamala Harris. He's saying that to Russia's president, Vladimir Putin. And these are not comments that Putin takes lightly. I'm going over this because the Bible warned us that this would happen. These sanctions is what the book of Revelation talks about. Let's get that. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16.
The revelation of John, chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
See, we got to see that. We've already been told he causeth all, both small and great. So don't just think it's the little man that's getting pressed on.
Nope.
Trump says, I'm going to put my strength onto Russia. But is it really Trump doing it or is it something else? The prophecy is he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. Because you know, a lot of times when they talk about Russia, they talk about the oligarchs. Russia got big money. Putin, he's rich, and he wields a lot of power. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to do what?
To receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Now again, the book of Revelation is a parable. This is very symbolic. If you don't make allegiance with America, what would happen?
And that no man might buy or sell.
You won't be able to trade.
Fatality.
That no man might buy or sell, read,
save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
The mark shows your allegiance to America. If you go against America's policies, you'll get hit with sanctions, tariffs, for some embargoes. Ask Cuba. I want to show y'all what's happening right now when it comes to mass deportation. Trump said that when he gets in office, that many illegal immigrants would be deported. Let's see what's happening with that. Let's look at this article. Article reads, U.S. arrests over 500 illegal immigrants, deports hundreds using military aircraft. You got that?
Yes, sir. U.S. arrests over 500 illegal immigrants, deports hundreds using military aircraft.
Now, I need y'all to know something. This is just his first week in office. Only been but a couple days.
Right.
These deportations have been so strong, a lot of our Hispanic brothers and sisters that are being sent back to Mexico are telling other Mexicans, don't try to come to the United States. The jig is up. Don't try to cross the border.
Nope.
Trump is office. He's not playing games. Read.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that the U.S. authorities have arrested 538 illegal migrants and deported hundreds using a military aircraft.
Come on.
With Donald Trump in power now, authorities have started cracking down on illegal migrants who have made a perilous journey in a quest for the American dream. Hundreds of illegal migrants were arrested and deported in a massive operation that comes just 3 days after the new administration was sworn in.
So if this happened just 3 days after being sworn in, how much more do you think is going to happen over the next 4 years?
Sharing the figures, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that the U.S. authorities have arrested 38 illegal migrants and deported hundreds using a military aircraft.
Come on.
The Trump administration arrested 538 illegal immigrant criminals, including a suspected terrorist, 4 members of the Tren de Aragua gang, and several illegals convicted of sex crimes against minors, Ms. Leavitt said in an online post on Thursday.
So there's been a lot of press about the type of immigrants that are being deported. Trump's administration is making a point of saying the immigrants that is being deported, you have those who have committed crimes. And some of these crimes can be very dangerous. Now, we're not going to go into all of the different crimes that the Trump administration claims is shared among these immigrants. But I just want y'all to keep that in mind. Trump's administration claims that there are violent crimes being waged by illegal immigrants. That's why he's made an executive order pressing for mass deportation. It's going to be very important to remember that for today's class. Now, I want us to look at something else. Not only is President Trump saying that he's getting rid of illegal immigrants, he's putting it on display. Let's pull up this slide. This was a social media post that just surfaced from the White House. And the message is promises made, promises kept. Read that.
It says deportation flights have begun.
You see that? Just as he promised, President Trump is sending a strong message to the world Those who enter the United States illegally will face serious consequences. Now, it's not enough that they put them on a military aircraft.
Nope.
They want them on display. So that way you know through Trump's administration, it's get down or lay down. That's what type of time he's on. Promises made, promises kept. This comes directly from White House social media channel, okay? So I need us to see what is happening. Trump is back for the second time, and he is back with a vengeance. He said, hey, y'all stole the election last time. I'm coming back, and we coming to get right with everyone who has something to say. Trump is getting very gangster with this. And I want to say something about the Middle East. You know, the Middle East is always in the news. And before Trump was inaugurated, he made threats to the Middle East saying, y'all better release these hostages or else. I want y'all to know this. Trump made a promise that if the Middle East did not resolve their turmoil and let go of hostages before he got into office, the following would happen. Listen good.
If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they.
Now, I just want you to know, Trump, he's gone at Hamas. He's gone at Russia. He takes no prisoners.
Should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them.
Now, I want you to notice what he said then. He said, I don't have to go into details. It is what it is. Trump on his second term is saying, y'all already know how I get down. You can try it if you want to, F around and find out. If you don't let those hostages go by the time that I'm inaugurated, there's going to be hell to pay. And sure enough, y'all saw those hostages got released before his inauguration. Now, the nations were hoping that Kamala got elected.
Right.
They know with Trump is gonna get ugly. But I want y'all to notice what else Trump has done. Trump, as a part of his hostile takeover, sends this message to Mexico.
A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
Now, Trump says he's going to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I need y'all to remember that. All of this is Bible prophecy. Now, I need y'all to think about this. The Interior Department says they've already changed the name. Wow. They've said that the Gulf of Mexico is now officially the Gulf of America.
Fatality.
That's just 1 week into office.